All right. Wow, what a mess. Okay, so um sorry about the delay there. I don't know what is going on. Every time I try to go live, it would um, tell me that I couldn't go live. I don't know what was going on. Um, I have this whole presentation thing to go through, but that isn't working. So I'll just hit the basics right now. Um, so real quick overview of the rules. So we'll start at 6 o'clock. That's when we will launch. 6:30 for lines in. So that's a half an hour to get to your first spot and go from there. I did that because that's sunrise, and that way you don't have to have nav lights, which the county requires. Um, Inbounds are any of the four county lakes. That's Jacomo, Longview, Blue Springs, and Prairie Lee. Um, when so there, some of the you do have to use a county approved launch point. So when you got your county permit, they would have given you the map and shown you where all those were. A couple are behind gates, so you've got to go to a gate to get it. Like Prairie Lee is all gated off, and some of the ones at Jacomo, um, the gates open. I don't know exactly what time. I think Prairie Lee opens at 8, and I think the others open shortly after sunset or sunrise, not if not just a little before. So keep that in mind when you're putting in. The marinas are open. They're 24/7 access, so those are always accessible. The south at Jacomo, the south kayak and canoe launch area is open as well. But do make sure you're using those county approved launch points. Um, they are pretty present, at least for me, they have been. Last year, I got stopped and checked for my permit and making sure I was doing everything right like 5 times. So, and I was no issue there. So, yeah, just make sure you're using the right launch points, and that is all good. Stay in the water with your boat. Um, for this one, I did change from last year, and I kind of went with what everyone else did, where you have to stay in your boat. You can't get out and wade fish. You can't portage over anything. I don't know if I'll keep that going forward, but for this one, we'll go like that. That way, we're using the same rule set as um, all the bigger trails. So we are doing, like I said, lines in. First launch at 6 o'clock, lines in at 6:30, lines out at 2, and then you have until 3 o'clock to submit the fish. Everybody's paid their entry fee. Everybody went in for the big bass too, so that's good. Right now, the payout with the 9 people, payout will be first through third, and that'll be 160, 96, and 32. And the big bass is at $45 with 9 anglers. So pretty cool. Registration will be open until 5 a.m. So that's when I'll shut it down. So we could go up from there. Do make sure you have your permit. Like I said, they do check. Um, and so the safety stuff. So you're competing at your own risk. So this is you on your boat doing your thing. We're just comparing our fish pictures. Um, the equipment you should have: a light source, a sound emitting device, air horn or anything like that, or a whistle, and a PFD. You have to wear your PFD at all times. So the only time that you can't wear your PFD is if you are, adding or removing a layer. Say you have on, an extra jacket. If you want to take your jacket off, um, you'll have to take your life jacket off, take your jacket off, put the life jacket back on. So you can't be fishing while your life jacket is off. Um, you're responsible for making sure that your boat complies with the state and federal laws and county laws in this case. Um, no use of alcohol or drugs. That can be a disqualification. If you have an emergency, call 911. Don't call me. Don't call anyone else. They are the best to handle a true emergency. We won't cancel due to weather unless it is a major issue. So lightning, very high winds, tornadoes. that sort of thing. And that will be communicated if something were to happen through the app. I'll send a push message out if there is some reason that we have to cancel due to some natural disaster like that. For the rules of competition, we're going to fall back to the KBF rules. They're pretty basic. They're out there. The one modification we make is there is no minimum length. Last year, we had some confusion on that. So I want to make sure that everybody knows there's no minimum length. Sometimes it's hard to get the big fish in these lakes to bite. So depending on the day, I could totally see that, a bag full of 12-inch fish could win, right? We've all been on these lakes, and we know that some days it's a dink fest, and some days you get the 4 and 5 pounders. So no minimum length. Take photos and submit all your fish. I think that would be awesome. So we talked about weather and natural disasters and that type of stuff. Looking at the weather, right about launch time, right at 6 o'clock, it looks like it's going to be 45 degrees, so pretty chilly. Make sure that you are prepared for that. If you get wet and it's 45 degrees, that could be a bad situation. So just, be prepared. My advice, like personal advice, not advice as for the tournament, is just keep a dry bag full of dry clothes. So if you do get wet, you can get to shore, get changed into dry clothes, and stay warm. It is going to warm up nicely during the day, be through the 50s through the mid-morning, 60s around noon, and then end up about 70 right about when we're getting off the water. Wind looks pretty low, 6-ish miles an hour, maybe 10-mile-an-hour gusts. Not super bad. If you are on Giacomo, that center part of the main lake does get a lot of wind, so be aware of that. When the wind whips through there, it picks up some pretty good speed. But otherwise, I think it will be some pretty decent weather, other than being a little chilly right when we put in. If the stream had been working, which I thought I was having an issue, but now I know it's a YouTube issue because I tried on different computers and then it just started working for no reason. I have a random string generator up to generate the string of to generate the identifier. So I'm going to go ahead and generate that now, and then I'm going to put it into TourneyX. All right, and this random string generator came back with the identifier of WMS. Okay, and I am going to hit that and save changes. So now you guys should see that when you open up TourneyX, that you should see that identifier WMS in there. Make sure you have that identifier clearly visible in all your photos. That way we know that they're for this tournament, and that's how it works. Even, if you haven't done a lot of tournaments or anything, even if you just write it like on the back of your hand with a Sharpie, that works good. I keep a Sharpie on the boat. I keep one in the tackle box, keep one in the truck. I have gone out and totally forgotten to make my tag that I stick on my board, and then went to write it on my hand and had nothing and felt like an idiot because I had to go back to the truck and find something to write on my hand with. Otherwise, I'm just looking forward to it. I hope the bite's good. I know the rain today might change conditions, especially from earlier in the week. And otherwise, I'll see you all in the morning. I will be at the Giacomo Marina, just because that's got the biggest parking area. I'll be at the Giacomo Marina both before and after the event, until judging and everything. I'll do a live stream from there, announcing the winners after 3 o'clock when all that is happening. Just like last year, I'm fishing because I love to fish. So putting on the tournaments makes it so that I go out and fish and spend the day and set aside the time. Being that right now I'm the only person judging the fish photos, I'm not in contention for the money. So if I were to get third place, the money would fall to fourth place. If two people wanted to meet me and judge the photos afterwards, so meet me at the Giacomo marina afterwards, I would feel comfortable going in only in that circumstance. And then there were two other people. So, tiebreaker and all that stuff. But otherwise, if no one shows up and volunteers to do that, I'm totally happy to just let that fall through and pull myself out of the running for the money. Okay, and with that, thank you all for signing up, and I hope to see some awesome fish pictures and hopefully meet some of you in the morning. And good luck and have fun fishing on these beautiful lakes.